Hey, this is Old Man Metal. Hope everyone's doing well. And something I wasn't planning on doing tonight, I was on the Dreamin Demon, and one of the members asked me in the little shout box that they've got if I would be willing to do a Q&A tonight, a live Q&A. So we've been at this almost an hour. Jesus. And you got to challenge them a little bit. We'll see if they got any more questions after that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Ooh, where I was terrified, really scared. It's the most scared I've ever been. Been in situations where I've had like major fucking adrenaline dumps. That's not the same thing as being terrified, though. Terrified. Really, really scared. Favorite line from an episode of Seinfeld. I mean, that's like a fucking question there, because Seinfeld is just amazing, and it's full of amazing lines. It was such a well-written show in terms of the lines, the jokes. Larry David's just a fucking comedic genius, and I don't even think the man means to be. I think he just is. I think just the way he is funny. The way he thinks is funny. And funny, you know, not like a clown, not like he abuses me or anything, but oh, he's asking me about glitter. Yeah, he fucking knows I hate glitter. I think I've told him that story. So favorite line from episode Seinfeld. So I don't know my favorite line from Seinfeld. But my favorite scene was definitely the library cop, the thing with the library cop, Mr. Bookman, where he's like reading Jerry the Riot Act in his apartment. That's just brilliant writing, absolutely hilarious. Line I don't know. Okay, at Ghost Truck. I despise glitter. With a homicidal mania. And that's the fucking truth. I fucking hate glitter. I can't stand fucking glitter. It's the stupidest fucking thing ever, and you can't get rid of it. And like one little fucking piece of it, you know, you can see from miles away. I hate fucking glitter. Oh, Jesus, I hate glitter. Some stories, it's like, how long will it take me to tell this story? Fuck it. I left a chick's blood on my kitchen floor for... This sounds really bad. I'm not going to tell the whole fucking story. I didn't cut her. She cut herself. I was having a party. This dumb glitter-covered bitch who ended up getting glitter all over my fucking house cut herself and bled everywhere. And so I didn't cut her. She cut herself, and she just happened to bleed on my floor. So it sounds like I cut someone and made them bleed over glitter, and that's not really what happened. But I did leave her blood on my kitchen floor for about 5 years. And I did. 5 years I left this fucking blood stain on my kitchen floor. And every time I cleaned the kitchen floor, I mopped around it. Because every time I was like, you fucking bitch. You glittered up my goddamn couch and fuck it, your blood's staying there. I don't know. Glitter's the STD of crafts. Favorite beer. Ben Stefaner's Hefeweizen. Been my favorite beer since I got out of college and had money and figured out that there was more to beer than like fucking Budweiser and all that bullshit. Fantastic German Hefeweizen, absolutely my favorite beer. As much IPAs and stuff like this as I love, Ben Stefaner's fantastic, that Hefeweizen. Yeah. Make sure they know I didn't cut her, because I don't want them to think that I'm like some crazy bastard who cuts people for getting glitter on my couch. But I did refuse to clean the blood up. So that leaves the question, what kind of person is willing to have blood on their kitchen floor for 5 years? But, I mean... Oh, great question. Okay, so I get to tell the story, I guess. So I was having my annual kegger. And people come running in. Have you got a first aid kit? Have you got a first aid kit? Why? Melissa cut herself. She's bleeding everywhere. And I couldn't stop laughing. I finally told him where the first aid kit was, but it took me a while to stop laughing because I just didn't like her. I mean, she was one of my good buddies, his girlfriend's friend, and sometimes your best buddies, some of their girlfriends or boyfriends, a female friend, whatever, their significant other's friends just rub you the wrong way, and that's the way this chick was. So. Because I can keep going. I can keep going. No idea. And that's true. I am on board here because of my voice and my writing skills. But my voice was sort of what really made me staff. Because then I was on the podcast and it's like, sexiest female artist, Angela Gossow. That's a fair answer. I mean, there's not anyone else out there that looks better than Angela does. Yeah, she's got a good voice. People shit on her voice. I like her voice. I've always liked her voice. Yeah. So anyhow, then go look up Angela Gossow and figure out who the hell she is. All right. Oh, thank you. I'm vain about my voice. I've had for years people ask me, are you in radio? Do you do radio? Or are you in broadcasting? Have you done broadcasting? And they're always disappointed when I say no. And that's honestly half of how I ended up doing the podcast, which got me into doing this kind of thing. Was just, I got tired of people asking me that. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you should be, blah, 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 blah. So I got the opportunity to jump on a podcast. I was like, well, fuck yeah. See how good I can sound. So I'm a little bit vain about my voice and the way I sound, which is a stupid fucking thing to be vain about. But I mean, you work with what you got. So 3 things on my bucket list. Don't have a bucket list. I don't. If I was dying, I'd be fucked. because I don't know what I would do. Yeah, the purple hair. That's a girl that took her place in Arch Enemy. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Younger. I think Angela's the business manager for the band now. And Angela took over for Johan, and you know, honestly, the most boring vocals in death metal. I could not get excited about his vocals at all. And some of the older Arch Enemy, I really, really liked the material, but his vocals just didn't do anything for me. So a lot of people don't like Angela's vocals. I didn't like Johan's vocals. They're just fucking boring. I don't know. I'd probably cut that out because I don't like to badmouth people, but some things click with you, some things don't. Did I take a girl to the prom, and what color was your tux? Dated younger girls, dated older girls, went to this prom, went to that prom, went to my prom. Yeah, it's what comes after the prom that's fun. Fuck the prom. Although I went to all of them. Go to drink at a bar. I mean, obviously, a beer. But if not a beer, probably a bourbon and Coke. And I do love Jaeger. Really, really, really like Jaeger. Actually, I looked at my most recent media. I'll pull this up while I can, just while I'm waiting for him to ask the next question. So this came up in a conversation in a thread the other night, and I put the thing on board. That is me and Ian Jackellis doing Jaeger shots at Jack's on Walpurgis Knock 2010. He played a set with God Dethroned. He was filling in for one of their guitarists. That was a fucking hell of a bill that night. Overkill, Vader, Creator, a few other bands I'm not remembering. Warbringer was on the bill that night, but just a fantastic bill. But anyhow, ended up doing some Jaeger shots with him at the bar after his set, and you can tell looking at that, I was pretty fucking drunk. Imagine that. Old man metal gets fucking pretty drunk. Different schools of my, I was hoping for powder blue ruffles. What the fuck is into... Nope. Best birthday 21. And that's the truth. About 12:01 a.m. on my birthday, I was standing in line at the food line on Avent Ferry in Raleigh, North Carolina, buying a 6-pack of Pete's Wicked Ale, if you remember that. And if you do, then that was back in the day. And I didn't get carded. And I told the cashier, if you don't check my ID, I'm going to call the fucking cops right now. And she looked at me and said, you just turned 21, didn't you? And I said, yes, I did. So she carded me and everything was cool. I wouldn't have really called the cops, obviously. That would have been a dick move, but it is true. I did say that, so. Let's see what else we've got here. Best gift I have ever given someone. Oh, wow. I am actually the fucking king of gift givers. Or not the king, maybe, but I'm really good at picking presents for people. I get that feedback a lot. There's a lot of people that like the presents I give. I'm good at... How old am I? It's kind of a personal question, but I'm a guy, so I'm not going to take offense at it. And I'm going to be fucking honest. 50, and I look damn good for 50. Just facts. Knockout. Favorite bad movie. I'm a huge Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan from back in the day. The old, not the original, but like the time period where it was Joel and when Trace Ballou was still on the show. I think when he left, that's when a lot of the really, I think he was one of their better writers, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So there were a lot of really bad movies on there that were really good. Probably Manos, The Hands of Fate. That was really horrible. Really, really horrible. Just like excrementally horrible. And they did a really good job with it, so that was cool. Changes in American culture, I think our experience with coronavirus bring. I say the board industry will have a wee surge. I don't disagree. I think there's a lot of changes that are probably going to come out of what the thing that's weird about coronavirus is it's like something that the entire world is experiencing at the same time. And in my lifetime, I'm 50 years old. There's never been anything in my lifetime that we've all experienced, at the same time, to the point that seismologists are picking up on earthquakes, and not earthquakes, but tremors and shit that they never picked up on before, because there's so much noise from people moving around the planet. And now that there's enough people not moving, they're picking up, they're hearing stuff they've never heard before. So it's different. There's never been anything like it. So it's a game changer. I think that please refrain. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Call me out. I do look damn good for 50, though. I mean, Kid Rock said, it's not cocky, motherfucker, if you back it up. I don't claim shit that's not true about me. I don't say, like, I'm a great humanitarian. I don't go around talking about what a great humanitarian I am, because I'm not. I'm just not. But, I look good for 50. But that's cool. You can call me out on that. That's fine. I hear you. Changes in American culture, experience with coronavirus spring, board game industry. I think that one of the big differences that we're going to see is social distancing. It's habit with one B, not hobbit with two. Favorite bad movie, Men's Hands of Fate, Knockout. He hasn't asked me any fucking questions. I hate to call on people, but I mean, at some point you sort of have to. Okay, yes, one more. Favorite ice cream flavor? Simply Spastic. I really do. It's boring. But real fucking French vanilla made with the fucking vanilla beans. Ah, so fucking good. Smanchus. How large is your CD, vinyl, and cassette collections? Any other music-related, otherwise notable collection of yours? So, not a collector. And I don't have that collector mindset. Collectors will buy like every fucking different edition of something that's put out just because it's different. I don't have that mindset. Not knocking it, I just don't. I'm not a collector. About 1,000 CDs. No vinyl. Can't afford the rabbit hole. And I don't get that. And I started a thread on Twitter well, you don't start threads on Twitter, but I started a conversation on Twitter a while back that actually got a shitload of fucking response about why people are into cassettes nowadays, because I don't get it. and I wasn't a dick about it. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. But it's like, unless you're younger than 40 fucking years old, and it's completely I wish I had grown up then thing. It's an inferior fucking format. It's a pain in the ass. The tape hiss. It sounds like ass. Why would you have cassettes if you don't have to have cassettes? As soon as I got something that would burn a fucking CD, I got away from goddamn cassettes. I just don't get it. But anyhow, you like what you like. Last book I read. I don't normally read a lot of nonfiction. Typically read mostly weird fiction and supernatural fiction. A lot of stuff that I read is short stories written 50, 100, even longer than that ago, 50, 100 years ago. Don't read a lot of modern literature at all. It wasn't always that way. I grew up reading horror, modern horror, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, different people that came about. Clive Barker, when he came around, started writing short stories that started getting out. Really fucking love Clive Barker. But got to the point where weird fiction, a lot of the Lovecraft Circle people, and old supernatural fiction, M.R. James, J.R. LeFanu, shit that was written a long time ago. So don't read a lot of modern stuff. Favorite record label? That's a tough call because, really, there's been a lot of good metal labels over the years. I mean, shit, there's been, Metal Blade, Combat back in the day. But I'm going to throw out two of them. $20 Spin and Transcending Obscurity. Honestly, $20 Spin, Transcending Obscurity, there's some other labels that are really killing it, but those are two off the top of my head that just, he asked the question, those are what's popping into my mind. A lot of good guys are out on independent labels. I think if you look at my top 10 metal CDs from last year, from 2019, probably 3 of the top 10 were on independent labels. So I'll throw this out there. Yeah, lots of examples. You start going down that rabbit hole, weird fiction and supernatural fiction, which are two totally and completely different things. The weird fiction, you're talking about Lovecraft and his disciples, a lot of the stuff in Weird Tales and the other pulps, people that followed in his footsteps. Weird fiction is still a big genre to this day. A lot of modern authors to this day putting out stuff in weird fiction. Supernatural fiction, not so much. That was something that really, with some exceptions, by and large, it was a lot bigger 100 years ago than it is now. Do I carry a pocket knife? That's an absolutely fucking brilliant question at Knockout. Cryptozoids, so that's like fucking Bigfoot and the swamp monsters and all that shit. Okay. At Blunderbuss. And that's a fact. If you look, there's been rumors of purple panthers, and that sounds like a fucking drug reference or an old fucking cartoon, but there's been reports of purple panthers in southeastern North Carolina for decades if you go back and look. And the only reason I know that is because I saw one day and I started doing some research on it. Less than half a mile from my house, coming down the road that I live on, this panther walked across the road in front of me, and it was purple, and it wasn't the way the sun was hitting its fur or anything like that. The way the light was, this damn thing was purple. It was a panther. Panthers don't look like other cats. They have their own unique physical structure, and it was a purple panther. And there's been rumors. I've seen one. There's definitely purple panthers in southeastern North Carolina, which is fucking weird, but that's what it is. Benchmade or Spyderco USA Earth. Do you believe in ghosts? Simply spastic. Christmas. So house that I used to live in with some housemates was legit a bordello back in the day. It was a gambling house. It was out in the country in Bladen County, North Carolina. I'm not going to say where, but it was a known gambling house and bordello. There were women there. There was illegal liquor there. Bladen County is a dry county to this day. Back in the heyday when this house was active as a bordello, it was definitely a dry county. And we knew when we moved into this place that there was something different about it because of the way it was set up. There was a room at the end of the house that was like a separate party room that had a bar built into the wall, like legit the part of the wall would fold down and there was a bar back behind it, behind a secret door. You would get back there to the bar with the shelves. The kitchen had like diner seating in it where you would sit down in a diner and eat. The bedrooms were all at one end of the house, like where you could lock them off. They had their separate climate control. The den was just mirrors from one end to the other, hardwood floor like it was made for dancing. We started finding secret hiding places where you would hide like liquor and shit. So we figured out really quickly that this place had been something different, and talking to people who lived around there later on, it absolutely had been a gambling house and a bordello back in the day. And when we first moved in, there was this one room on where you came in. There was a sunroom that was off the back of that bar room that was like the little party room. And there had been a separate room built off of that for no apparent reason. There was no reason to build a room off of it. It was just this little room that had been sectioned off. And the only thing that anyone had left in the house was a crucifix in this room, hanging over the doorway as if to block the doorway into the rest of the house. Which me, I don't roll like that. I don't hold with that cross. I took it down, threw it away. I said, I'm not going to have that shit in my house, a house that I'm living in. And never thought anything else about it. But I had my base set up in that party room where the bar was, and you just get odd feelings. You know, you're not comfortable, and there's no reason why. And I was never comfortable if I'd been there by myself playing the bass, because I'd be at the end of the house, have the door locked up, and not locked up, but closed to where everyone else didn't have to listen to me. I'd be the only one back there, and just having my back to that door, to where that other room was just uncomfortable. I just wouldn't play with my back to it. So anyhow, feelings don't mean shit. Feeling weird doesn't mean anything. But we were all in the den one evening, and we had 3 dogs at the time. We had a German Shepherd named Kaiser, we had a Jindo named Kira, and we had a chocolate lab pit mix named Pee-Pie. And we're all in the den, different parts of the den, just sitting doing different things. And no one's talking, no one's doing anything. The dogs are just laying around. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all 3 of the dogs look up at the same point in space. And they're not sitting together, they're sitting in different places. All of a sudden, not one of them stood up, but all of them instantaneously at the same time stood up and started looking at the same point in space, all of them independently, and barking like fucking mad. Absolutely just going nuts. And after about 7 or 8 seconds of barking, baby, they all stop, sit back down again. Fucking weird. Don't have an explanation for it. Does it mean that they're ghosts? No. But the question was, do I believe in ghosts? I don't not believe. Because I don't have any other explanation for that. And there were things that happened to that house that correlate with what you would think would possibly cause something to still be there. So, anyhow. Do I hasten to mournful congregation? Mournful congregation. because it is too long to type. I mean, it took me a minute to tell that damn story just talking to you, sitting here with a beer. There's no way I could type all that shit. I used to carry Spyderco back in the day, a long time ago. I've still got a Spyderco that I used to carry. But as you all know, because you've been watching, I carry the Benchmade Nakamura 44S. And if you haven't been watching, it was a good podcast. I still get a lot of good feedback on that. People find that on YouTube just looking for information about the knife, and I always have nice things to say about it. So, any other questions? Because honestly, I'm a couple of beers in here. I'm ready to piss. Drinking and spewing random questions. Well, I've been drinking. Yeah, we'll see if anyone else has anything they want to ask. So that wrapped up pretty good. Hope you enjoyed watching me answer live impromptu questions from the folks at Dreamin Demon. I guess they were really fucking bored. It's COVID-19. We're all bored, so what are you going to do? You're going to get online. You're going to have some fun. So anyhow, hope it was entertaining, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then keep it to yourself. And until next time, y'all take care.